A change of responsibility took place in the senior NCO leadership position in the Montana National Guard. Command Sergeant Major Robert Bennett handed over the sword of responsibility to Command Sergeant Major William Cooper. Not only did we have a new change of authority in the senior enlisted position, but there are new faces in the command staff also. Colonel Joel Cusker is the new Chief of Joint Staff, Colonel Kendall Switzer is the Vice Chief of Joint Staff, and Chief Warrant Officer 5 John Papuro is the new Senior Warrant Officer in the State of Montana National Guard. Master Sergeant Charlie Height from the 120th Fighter Wing tells us that the wing also went through a recent change of command.
It was a change of command in Great Falls, Montana for the 120th Fighter Wing. And the new commander brings a host of leadership skills to the position, but is counting on the airmen to help fulfill the mission.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to do this on my own. I'm just going to give them hopefully the vision, the direction, and I'm going to let them go from there. So it's going to be exciting just to let them be unencumbered to accomplish that mission and to give them the resources and guidance that they need. So very excited. We have a great group of airmen and young airmen that I've seen, and I have just the highest faith in them, and that they'll do great things, and I'll be their greatest cheerleader.
I'm confident in Colonel Hronik and what he will do with the organization, and equally I'm thankful for the time and service that Colonel McDonald has provided the men and women of the 120th Fighter Wing.
The Veterans Administration ended 2009 on a high note with the completed construction and operability of the Western Montana State Veterans Cemetery in Missoula. The VA also received legislative approval for 5 full-time equivalents, 2 to operate the Western Montana State Veterans Cemetery, and 3 others to work in the state's 3 highest veterans demographic areas of Billings, Great Falls, and Missoula. Fort Harrison during the summer months takes on a sentiment of an active duty military post. The majority of Montana National Guard soldiers come to Fort Harrison every summer to use the training areas and ranges for their annual training requirements. In the summer of 2009, you could feel a sense of urgency and sternness among the soldiers training here. Most had one thing in mind: they were training for their next deployment to Iraq, coming soon in 2010. Not only is the Fort Harrison training area important for soldiers of the Montana Army Guard, but as Senior Master Sergeant Eric Peterson from the 120th Fighter Wing tells us, airmen from the 219th Red Horse also took advantage of the training area this past summer.
The key goals to accomplish during the exercise were to build team unity, provide small unit leadership experience for younger officers and recently promoted senior NCOs, and give new airmen the combat skills training necessary to prepare them for a deployment scheduled for next year. During the exercise, the airmen were assigned to fire teams, squads, platoons, and companies, terms which are usually used to describe the military force structure of the Army.
9/11 changed everything for the Air National Guardsmen. We no longer have that traditional role of the 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. You know, we're a joint force now, so we need to learn along with our counterparts, learn what they learn, and you know, be prepared to be battle buddies with them on the battlefield.
The FTX provided the Montana Airmen an opportunity to learn and practice Army concepts and techniques prior to participating in the upcoming overseas deployment.
When we deploy usually with the 101st Airborne Army units. We go outside the role of the traditional Air Force units, and we deploy with them. We go on convoys with them. So that's what this training is meant to do. You know, we're not infantry, however, we're going to be put in that role.
The leadership of the 219th Red Horse Squadron began planning for the exercise in October 2008. The training scenario on the first day involved airlifting the members of the squadron from Malmstrom Air Force Base to Fort Harrison in 2 trips of dual CH-47 Chinook helicopters.
Once we land from there, we're going to sweep 2 valleys, go in and sweep and secure a unoccupied village. At that point, then we'll secure that village and perform 24-hour operations in anticipation of a fall-on Army unit to occupy the location.
Realistic training scenarios were designed for the exercise that tested the airmen as they made their movement down through the valleys. Members of the 219th Active Duty Associate Unit, the 819th Red Horse Squadron, provided 18 personnel to serve as opposition forces during the FTX. On the 3rd day of the exercise, members of the Montana Army National Guard provided close-quarter marksmanship, self-aid buddy care, convoy operations training, and M4 rifle training, all important combat skills which will be critical for the airmen to possess during the upcoming deployment.
The mission of the Montana National Guard is to protect our state and people in times of emergency and provide that same service whenever and to whoever requests our help. In 2009, soldiers of the 163rd were called out to perform a security mission after a gas main leak exploded and leveled several buildings in downtown Bozeman. The Montana National Guard 260th Engineer Support Company was called to conduct a security mission in Miles City after a fire leveled an entire city block. The 1st of the 189th Aviation Battalion was called out to assist officials in eastern Montana after a severe snowstorm hit that area, and they were also called out to assist officials and the North Dakota National Guard in a search and rescue mission after a severe rainstorm caused widespread flooding. The Montana National Guard, soldiers and airmen. The Montana National Guard has a history second to none. In time of need, we are there with no hesitation. It makes us proud to be able to help our fellow Montanans. The Montana National Guard can always be counted on in time of need. We are a proud organization full of tradition dating back to the 1800s. We train hard and we work hard with one mission in mind: to protect the people of Montana and the freedom of the United States of America. Always ready, always there. Your Montana National Guard.